Hello everyone, I'm Extra Cheesy 87 and this is Let's Play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations Part 2. That's kind of like a bit of a mouthful, but you know, it's kind of fun to say all the same. In the previous video, we kicked off our tutorial. We have gone back in time, and we are Mia Fey defending Phoenix Wright, who is a very bad defendant. And I kind of understand why all of Phoenix's defendants are so bad. It's karma. Because he himself was an awful defendant once upon a time. But there's still one mystery that remains after our tutorial efforts, and let's figure out what the judge thinks that mystery is. I mean, you already know the joke, right? You remember. Why do kids love Cinnamon Toast Crunch? That's the secret that we must solve. There is, Your Honor? How the murder was carried out, of course. Yes, how was the victim electrocuted? I don't believe the murder weapon has been produced yet, correct? Well, I mean, that's, yeah, I mean, you're correct. I didn't know we cared about, like, how the murder was taking place. Like, I thought I was just supposed to, like, pick someone out of a lineup, and then we just execute them and go on with our day. I thought that's how it's supposed to go. Apparently, we don't do it like that anymore. I didn't realize everybody got all, like, stuck up about the justice system all of a sudden. How exactly was Mr. Swallow killed? If I could somehow establish how it was done, maybe I could still come out of this mess smelling like a rose. I mean, we can't... I mean, like, yes, we should be able to establish the murder method, but can we? I mean, I feel like we should, but I don't know how much, like, the game wants to, like, baby step us, you know? Your Honor! Yes, Miss Fey? I believe that if we were to piece together everything we've heard up until now, we should be able to solve the mystery of how Mr. Swallow died. That would be most impressive! Quite the brash statement coming from a rookie. Even a beginner like you must understand the basic rules of the court, yes? An attorney must be able to substantiate their arguments with evidence! Of course I know that. Actually, I totally forgot about that part. Now then, Miss Fey, let me see what you got. Show me how you believe the victim was electrocuted. This is the right one, right? Yay. Oh god, it's not, the music's still, okay, maybe? As for the cause of death, I'd say this picture captures it quite well. What? Ah, yes, the umbrella. Of course, it was Colonel Mustard outside the school with the umbrella, but there is nothing that even remotely resembles a murder weapon here. I'm afraid the defense is going to explain this in a bit more detail. Miss Fey, where exactly in this photo is the murder weapon? The umbrella! Oh god, this better count. This better be close enough. Well, naturally, it's right here. That's... What is that? A severed electrical cable, I believe, Your Honor. Remember the testimony we've heard? The machines the pharmacology students use in their experiments require high voltage. And because of that, there are special high voltage cables strung up everywhere. So then the high voltage cable... Yes, the high voltage cable is the cause of death. That is the most likely explanation. That certainly sounds plausible. Well, Mr. Payne, what do you have to say about this? Well, I mean, I believe some praise is in order. Don't toy with me, old man. Now, the victim's cause of death may have indeed been a high voltage cable. However, I want you to think of what that really implies. The only one who had the opportunity to use the cable as a murder weapon was... Santa Claus! I mean, the defendant! That much is certainly true. Yes, and that's not all. We have proof! Irrefutable proof that will establish that Phoenix Wright was the murderer! You do? Well, what is it? His fingerprints. Fingerprints? You mean the defendant's fingerprints are on something besides the medicine bottle? Yes, they're all over my ass. Let's have another look at the crime scene photo. As you can see, the victim is wearing a leather jacket. Quite stylish if I do say so myself. As you may well know, leather holds fingerprints quite well. You mean... Yes, it was quite clearly imprinted on the chest area of the victim's jacket. The palm print of the defendant's very own hand. What? I can only think of one way Mr. Phoenix Wright could have left a print like that. Intent on murder, he squarely pushed the victim towards the severed electrical cable. Order! 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 That's enough! Now that we conclude that there's no reason to continue with this cross-examination. Stick a fork in us, we're done! Mr. Grossberg! My hemorrhoids never lie. I was gonna make the hemorrhoid joke. Like, I know the line starts with my hemorrhoids, but that was like off the cuff. I didn't really know where I was going after that, but I was definitely like the hemorrhoids line was something I was gonna make the joke, and then the game just beat me to it, man. They fucking video's over. LP ended. I'm embarrassed. The show is over, Mia. I knew that boy was guilty the first time I saw him. No, you're wrong. Mr. Wright is innocent. Bullshit, man. No further evidence is required to convince me this man's guilt. Your Honor, at this time I am prepared to render a verdict in this case. Do you have something further to add, Miss Faye? Is this what you want, Mr. Wright? You still haven't told us the truth, the whole truth. Maybe even nothing but the truth. If you don't say something now, the judge is gonna hand down his verdict. But I can't just say it. I told you what really happened, then I'd be... girlfriendless. That's a fate worse than death. It's okay, Mr. Wright. I'm your attorney. You can trust me. Miss Faye... Oh, God. It's freaking handsome Phoenix Wright. It's just scary as hell. No matter what it is you have to say, I believe in you and I'll represent you to the very end. We've already established the defendant's guilt. There's no further need for him to say anything. Unless, of course, he wants to reveal this week's winning lottery numbers. Wait a minute! Mr. Wright. I'll tell you what really happened. But I've already told you, Mr. Wright, there's no need for further... I did it. I admit it, I pushed him. It's my fault. It's my fault that Doug Swallow is dead. Wait, where are the wires, man? That girl, you shouldn't see her anymore. Why does Doug Swallow look like a 35-year-old man? Actually, he was like a 45-year-old man. I'm telling you for your sake, if you need to see her, it's gonna be bad news. You're lying! Just listen to me. There's something you need to know about that girl. Stop it! Don't talk about her like that. Damn, dude. My man's got arm strength. Phoenix is yoked. And with that palm strike, it was over. What you just said, was that the truth? Yes, I was afraid. Afraid that if I told the truth, everyone would think I was the murderer for sure. Well, as things currently stand, we're all absolutely convinced you are. But please, please give me one more chance to explain. This time I swear I'll tell the whole truth. Maybe even nothing but it. It'll be okay, won't it, Miss Faye? I believe in you. Oh, thank you. Still can't believe it. He really did push the victim. Yeah, I feel like my hemorrhoids are doing the Harlem Shake. Why'd you have to write that sentence? When I pushed the victim. That guy, he was talking bad about Dahlia. So I fucking ended his ass. The end. Lost my temper and gave him a shove. At that moment, I heard some kind of loud noise. A little while after I left, I started to get worried. So I went back, but he was just lying there, dead. Well, the explanation is really quite simple. When you pushed him, Mr. Swallow flew back and touched the electrical cable. He died from the shock, and that, as they say, is that. A simple explanation indeed. At the time of the incident, a light rain had been falling. Wet from the rain, the victim was more easily electrocuted. But when I pushed him, there weren't any electrical cables nearby. If there had been something like that, even I would have noticed it. That's true. Even a doofus like him couldn't miss that. Miss Faye, let me warn you right now that if your cross-examination doesn't yield any new facts, I intend to deliver my verdict without further delay. Are we clear on that? Yes, Your Honor. Don't give up, Mia. He is innocent. There must be some kind of evidence somewhere that will prove it. That guy, he was talking bad about Dahlia. So what kind of things did Mr. Swallow say to you? He said all sorts of terrible things about Dahlia. He said that she was a bad girl. Kinky, Mr. Wright. Is that all? Yup! Miss Faye, you heard him yourself. Oh boy, you're not doing yourself any favors here, Mr. Wright. Please don't make this harder for me than it already is. Anyway, after he said that, I just... Also, I tipped her and gave him a shove. Can you tell me what happened in a little more detail? That guy, he just said what he wanted to say to me. And then he put on the jacket he was holding and started to leave. That's when I lost my temper and flew into a furious frenzy. I just gave him a light, gentle shove at the chest, but you know me, Mr. Phoenix Wright, breaker of doors, I'm too powerful for my own good. My anime hair infuses me with great amounts of strength. And when you did that, there was no severed cable anywhere to be seen. Right! I mean, correct. There was nothing like that at all. What is it possible that you merely overlooked it? Well, I mean, I guess it's possible. What are you doing? Let the guy steam all over you like cheap asphalt? I believe what's important here is the moment the push occurred. Let's continue on with the testimony witness. A loud noise? And what would you say the loud noise was, Mr. Wright? I'm not sure, but it was like really loud. Thank you for your services, Mr. Wright. You may now go to prison. It was like snap, you know, come to think of it. I wonder what that was. Clearly, Your Honor, it was the sound of the victim being electrocuted. You're not qualified to decide that. What should I do? I'm treading on some dangerous ground here. I don't know, fuck it. You're not gonna hurt me, maybe. Mr. Wright, that loud noise you heard may be extremely important. To try and remember what it was. How do I put it? It was like a sharp crack. Aha! Could it have been? Yes, could it have been? Hurry up and tell us! When I pushed him, he dropped the umbrella he was holding. Damn, dude. I mean, he killed that man with one touch. He fell right on top of it, and it broke. That was probably the noise I heard. An umbrella, huh? And did that umbrella belong to the victim? Yeah, it was a plastic umbrella, cheap and frail, kind of like the owner. I mean, strong and sturdy. Then again, I wish I had a kind of umbrella I was totally soaked to the bone. Miss Faye? What do you think? Is there something important in that testimony just now? I mean, the umbrella is bent, but it's like way off to the side. If he fell on top of it, it wouldn't be there? I don't know if, that seems like that counts. Well, of course it's important. This is it, Mia. The new information you've been waiting for. Of course it's important. No, this cheap umbrella is more than important. It's vital. Oh god, this is wrong. I want to officially have it entered into the testimony. How perfectly fitting. Flimsy information for a flimsy lawyer. The court agrees to the defense's request. Witness, please add the bit about the cheap umbrella to your testimony. So Mr. Swallow fell on top of his umbrella, and you are certain of this? Yeah, it was right there under him. Actually, if I hadn't been under him, I was planning on borrowing it for myself. The umbrella, you mean? Well, yeah, I mean, I wasn't gonna steal his jacket. I mean, maybe he kinda deserved it. Well, you see, I was wearing the sweater here. I only stayed up late for nights at a time, knitting it for me. I didn't want the rain to cheapen the handmade symbol on her love. My stomach is not as used to being your personal soccer ball, Mia. I'm so sorry. Continue on with your testimony, witness. Yeah, I mean, we'll press the rest, but I mean, I assume the contradiction is photo on the umbrella statement. After you shoved the victim, did you leave the scene right away? Yes, I did. I admit it. I was furious. Well, without even checking Mr. Swallow's condition. Well, yeah. Like I said, I got worried about him later. At that time, did you see anyone else at the scene of the crime? No? Nobody? Can that stupid cough possibly sound any phonier? In that case, it's very hard to believe someone else could have been the murderer. Unless they can find something that shows his innocence in the testimony, my dear, I'm afraid the judge will make a final decision with no remorse whatsoever. Making sure it's the right one. Why didn't you test about the umbrella from the very beginning? Because it's a friggin' umbrella, lady. Come on, if I had mentioned that, I would have been able to counter the prosecution's arguments earlier. What do you mean by that? Take another look at the crime scene photo. According to Mr. Wright, the victim fell on top of his umbrella. However, if you look closely, the umbrella is nowhere near the victim. Actually, it's by the electrical pole. You're absolutely right. The conclusion here is obvious. After the defendant left, the victim moved from where he fell. In other words, after he was pushed by the defendant, Mr. Swallow was still alive. No! Well, like, okay, yeah, so what? Maybe you prove without a shadow of a doubt that the victim or the Phoenix didn't kill someone, but unless you give us someone else to execute, we're still gonna execute him because somebody's gotta die, okay? That's just the way it works. If we have a court case and nobody dies at the end, like, what is society for? So, like, unless you actually also solve the murder and hand deliver them to us with, like, a nice bow, we're still gonna execute him. So, what now? Mia Fey. The victim, he moved! I've been preparing for this moment. I will have to leave now. Go to my shelter in the mountains. The zombies are upon us. Mr. Payne, the umbrella in this photo, where is it now? Well, I mean, it was collected by the police at the crime scene. I want to present it as evidence immediately. But the umbrella could have simply been blown there by the wind! According to the yo, this music's fire. According to the testimony, the victim fell on top of the umbrella. There's simply no way it could have been blown there by the wind. What if it was a sudden gale force hurricane? I know this matter of the umbrella seems relatively trivial, but my pizza is still not done, so you guys need to continue doing bullshit for a little while longer. But it's nice and golden brown when the case is over and I go back and get to as long as the smallest doubt remains, I cannot render final judgment. Oh, it's so good. No! Send him to the fucking Shadow Realm. I must say, I still find it hard to believe that a huge hole has been blown in the prosecution's case by the defendant's testimony. Well done, Mia! Mr. Payne, what are you chuckling about? Pardon me, Your Honor. It was a funny joke I thought of to myself. You wouldn't get it. I actually, the process of explaining why it was funny would just be really awkward. So instead, I'm just gonna say, oh, I'm laughing about something else. You wouldn't get it. You're not a part of the Cool Kids Club. Your Honor, it seems I was expecting too much of a free ride. I was foolish to think I could establish guilt through cross-examination alone. I'm afraid I don't follow what you're saying. Let me guess, you have another witness? Exactly, and this witness's testimony will be incontrovertible. Well, who is this witness? Come on, Judge. Who could it be? Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. Dahlia Hawthorne? You don't mean Dolly? I do, Your Honor. The defendant's very own lover is a witness to the whole thing. That's right. She was at the scene of the crime when the murder took place. What? I'm sorry to break the bad news to you, my dear. Bad news? You couldn't be more wrong. Actually, I've been waiting for this. You can't be serious! Yeah, I'm bullshitting. Mia, what do you mean by that? I think this is a good point for us to stop at. Court will now enter into a 20-minute recess. I hear the ding of my oven in the back office going off. Afterwards, we will listen to the testimony of Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. Miss Faye, I'm sorry about what happened back there. It's alright. At least you told us the truth in the end, Mr. Wright. Yeah, so I guess I can start to relax then, huh? Relax, my boy! You can't be serious after hiding such important facts! But the next witness is my Dolly, right? She'll save me, I just know she will. Yeah. Why do you think that? What do you mean? She's the love of my life, that's why. The love of your life? Huh? And why was she never mentioned in the previous 2 games? Shut up, Mia, okay? Would you mind telling me more about you and, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne? Sure, no problem. Dahlia and I, we first met about 8 months ago, right here in this very courthouse. Actually, I'm studying to be a lawyer on the side, anyway. One day, she and I just bumped into each other in the reading room downstairs. That's why I really think it was fate that brought us together. Also, is that supposed to be like her umbrella that he was using? I mean, that doesn't really make any sense, but... No, it doesn't have the same, it's just like a regular umbrella. As soon as I first set eyes on her, I knew she was the one for me. Oh, here, take a look at this. She gave this to me the day we met as a symbol of our love. Yeah, that's not fishy. She had been wearing around her neck that day, but then she took it off. But before she gave it to me, she said, I want you to carry this. She gave it to you as a present, I see. It's probably stolen. This darling little bottle is filled with memories of my darling little Dolly. Shut up, Phoenix. It certainly is a little bottle, alright. Makes me so happy I show it to everyone I meet. I want to share my happiness with the whole world. He shows it to everyone. That doesn't sound like Phoenix. I mean, would Phoenix really going around to every single person he meets and then show them some knickknack? Couldn't be my Phoenix, right? Anyway, so after that, you and Miss Hawthorne started dating. Also, by the way, do you know anything about this attorney's badge? Yeah, she's so shy. Every time I see her, she always says the same thing to me. Please give it back now. What a strange girl asking for a present back like that. But by the Phoenix. Did he just admit that all her conversations are just her wanting the necklace back? The day you first met Dahlia Hawthorne 8 months ago. It wouldn't happen to have been on August 27th, would it? Huh? Yeah, it was. How did you... This happened on August 27th, right here in the courthouse. What's this, a newspaper clipping? Let's see. Murder in the courthouse. Murder? What are you reading there? Let me see that. Oh, I see. Oh, yeah. Sometimes people get murdered in the courthouse. No big. Happens all the time. Yeah, I think I understand what you're trying to say. I think I understand why you suddenly took such a keen interest in this case. You believe there is some connection between these two cases, am I correct? Hope you don't mind, Mr. Grossberg. I need to finish this myself. Ah, yes, but, I'm afraid what you have will not be enough, my dear. I'll go and have a look into the downstairs reading room and see what else I can find. Thank you. I want to do whatever I can to be of help to you, Mia. Well, looks like recess is about over. We'd better all get moving. The boombox is under the desk, the same spot as usual. I guess so. That recess sure seemed longer than 20 minutes, though, did it? Yeah, we probably won't finish the tutorial in this video, but definitely next time. And we'll keep going for another about 20 minutes or so, but... Or, I mean, as you can tell, because the video's out, and you can see how long the video is, which is usually correct. I mean, occasionally, sometimes I mess up and add like 40 minutes of a black screen that has to be cut out, but, you know. In general, the length of the videos is the same length as they actually are. Court will now reconvene. Mr. Payne, please call your witness. The next person is someone who witnessed the crime as it happened. The prosecution calls for Miss Dahlia Hawthorne to the stand. Yeah, she's murdered thousands. What's with this stiff silence? In my long career as a judge, I have been deceived by many witnesses. It's my job to doubt, to take no one at their word. But in your case, I must admit that you radiate a glow of complete sincerity. Yeah, no. I can't believe you actually said that. No, now then, witness, could you please state your full name? Don't worry, sweetie, there's no need to be nervous. Anyone says anything rude, you can be sure I'll cut them right down to size. And I will bash them with my gavel. I love how they look straight at me when they say that. Thank you for calming my nerves. You are all so nice. I almost feel right at home. Not at all! It was nothing. Little weird having the 49-year-old dude and the infinitely old dude, like, creeping on the girl who looks like she's 12. If we may move on now, what is your full name and occupation? I mean, I know they said she was in college, but come on. She looks like she's 12. My name is Dahlia Hawthorne. I am a junior in literature at Ivy University. I just want to say, it's an honor for me to be here in your noble presence. Shut up. The honor's all mine. No, the honor's all mine. Well, you know whose milkshake drink God fucking... Once again, she looks like she's 12. At the very least, like, maybe 14. I mean, they say 20. Come on. I don't buy that. Also, if this is 5... Was Phoenix Wright 26 in the first game? I thought he was only 23. Also, art student. Thought he was studying to be a lawyer. You're gonna be like, oh, my client clearly can't be guilty because, Vincent Van Gogh! Haha, get wrecked, nerd! Sir? Is there something I can help you with? You just going to say whatever's on your mind? Sure, there must be some kind of mistake. Beanie wouldn't kill anyone, I just know it. Yes, I can see why you'd say that. She's gonna be a tough witness, alright? It only took her 12 seconds to wrap them all around her little finger. Now then, please proceed with your testimony. Let us hear about your witness on the day of the incident, if you please. I've been planning to go back to Feigned's place after class is over. Feigned and Dougie, they were talking behind the building. And then suddenly Dougie got all wobbly and just suddenly collapsed. Phoenix hit him with his secret palm strike move. He did this like weird anime yell when he did it too. I don't remember what the name of the attack was, but he definitely did it. That's when Feigned noticed that I was there. I went to go and find some other students and they called the authorities. I don't know what to say. According to you, Miss Hawthorne, the defendant didn't do anything wrong. Young lady, as old as I am, even I recall how hot the flames of young passion can burn. Shut up, weirdo. Nevertheless, it is my job to discover the truth. Please, tell us the truth. But, I would never... That's more than enough, witness. I won't allow this to continue. What do you mean by that? Please, just let me proceed with my cross-examination, Your Honor. I, for one, don't plan to win my case on a bunch of paper-thin lies. You haven't changed a bit. Oh, is she maybe the first case that she did that she lost? I mean, they said a year ago, but, like... Does that actually mean, like, a full year ago, or does that mean 8 months ago? What's this? So you two are acquainted? Yes, we've met before. Once. In any case, Miss Fay, the floor is all yours. It's good to see you again, Madam Fay. Madam? I'm not grandma yet, girly. Yeah, let's just say Mia doesn't have to worry about getting old. I've been planning to go back to Feigned's place after class is over. Objection! Now, unless I'm mistaken, Mr. Wright is in the art department. If that's the case, then what were you doing by the pharmacology building? Well, I'm in the literature department. I'm studying Japanese Shinryu poetry. Oh, how wonderful! Isn't that humorous yet a satirical style of haiku, yes? Nothing left to do. When a man reaches this age, sleep is his best friend. That's supposed to be poetry? Sounds more like a midlife crisis. For me to get to the art department, I have to walk all the way through the back area. Ah, yes, I see. That makes sense. When I want to enter the courthouse, I'll always walk through the front doors. How else would you enter? Teleportation? So who is this Dougie person? Oh, I'm sorry. Doug Swallow. We were dating until about 8 months ago. So what were Dougie, Mr. Swallow, and Mr. Wright talking about, anyway? How can you be so mean? I would never eavesdrop. I wasn't raised to be so rude and unrefined. That's right, Miss Fay. Don't drag the witness down to your level. Why am I being demonized here? Please go on. What did you see next? Are you saying the victim just collapsed on his own? Yes. In other words, the defendant never touched the victim. Is that right? I was watching the whole time. Feigned never did a thing to Dougie. I pressed her for no good reason. I just knew the judge would get angry with me. So what should I do about her testimony just now? I mean, I guess we'll leave it alone for now, because we don't really have a contradiction to that. And we have Phoenix's testimony, but that's not like a piece of evidence. Well, actually, is it? Does it mention... There's nothing here that says, like, Phoenix pushed him, so we'll leave it alone for now and circle back if we have to. Suppose our statement works in our favor for now. I'll hold off on looking into it any deeper until it's necessary. Very well, young lady, please go on with your testimony. And what did Mr. Wright say when he saw you? I'm sorry, I was so flustered that I really don't remember. Please forgive me. You don't remember? Well, that's common enough. Sometimes I can't recall a sentence I passed on just minutes prior. Please, someone, anyone, stop him before he gets hurt. By me? I went to go and find some other students and they called the authorities. When you say students, do you mean students in the pharmacology department? Yes, they're all very fond of their drugs. Please try and stay on topic. So to find some pharmacology students, you went into the labs, correct? That's what I was planning to do, but in the end, I wound up not going. A group of about 10 research students came running out of the building entrance. Somehow they all seemed to know what was going on, and they kept saying something about how much they'd like to see what happens to a man when he fries to death. The students knew what was going on. Yeah, we'll press some more details. But how could the students have known what was going on? Well, I don't know for sure, but that they knew what had happened. It's just they all seemed kind of excited about something. Doesn't look like I'm gonna get any more info out of the students. So the students call the police? Yes, I was so panicked. Yes, well anyone would have been, my dear. That girl, she's telling a super obvious line. She knows it. She's just pretending to protect Mr. Wright. Yes, that's gotta be it. Way to go, Mia! Okay, that means I'm going to have to dig deep to find the contradiction on this one. Can we read this? Okay, we can read this. Very little information is being disclosed at the time, so the victim of yesterday's incident in the district courthouse cafeteria is said to have been a lawyer. Police are questioning the 19-year-old female colleague who was sitting with the victim. Okay. Because, I mean, this doesn't actually say that Phoenix pushed him. So I'm worried if they make me present a piece of evidence, it's not gonna count. What did he say here again? Say students in the pharmacology department. They're all very fond of their drugs. Please try and stay on topic. So to find some pharmacology students, you went into the labs, correct? But in the end, I wound up not going. A group of about 10 research students came running out of the building entrance. Somehow they all seemed to know what was going on. The students knew what was going on? So what happens when we leave it alone? Pharmacology students, they have nothing to do with the incident. I think okay, so we'll just try and press the contradiction back here. Feeble lies are not very becoming, Miss Hawthorne, so let's drop them, shall we? What? I would never... Miss Fay, I will not allow you to badger this witness. I believe the defense is engaged in a fishing expedition. Yeah, you probably want to know my email address, don't you, you fisher? She has no supporting... Please don't glare at me like that. I'm just doing my job. Now then, Miss Hawthorne. The defendant's palm print was found on Mr. Swallow's leather jacket. It has already been shown that Mr. Wright did, in fact, push the victim. What? No need to try and cover for the defendant. It would have been much better if you came out and told us the whole truth. There's nothing to worry about, young lady. Just tell us everything that you saw. Yes, Your Honor. I will, if you don't mind. I'd like to revise my testimony. Looks like we're finally getting somewhere. You didn't see it? Well, I mean, I saw the moment when Dougie fell to the ground, and at that time, there was only 2 of them at the scene. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, and the victim, Doug Swallow. Yes, that's right. Okay, it didn't look like they were fighting. So then, what did it look like they were doing to you? I thought they were having a nice, friendly afternoon conversation. Oh, give me a break. That's why I really wasn't watching them all that closely. Did you notice anything out of the ordinary at all? No, nothing at all, Mr. Judge. Oh, I like the sound of that. Mr. Judge. Now then, please proceed with your testimony. Didn't look like they were fighting. Oh, didn't hear anything unusual. You say you didn't hear anything unusual, is that correct? Yes, that's why I was very relaxed, looking at the scenery around me. That's nice, but I found that just a little odd. I have here the testimony of your boyfriend, Mr. Phoenix Wright. He clearly testified to the effect, and when he pushed the victim, he heard a sharp, loud noise. He said that. If you're really that close to the two of them, why didn't you hear this noise as well? Man, this boombox is really easy to use. Well, maybe the noise just wasn't all that memorable. But according to Mr. Wright's testimony, it was a sharp noise like a snap. Like how I'm gonna snap your neck, little girl. There was no way a noise like that could fail to make an impression. Ah! May I have a moment to answer? By all means. I know the reason why I didn't hear the noise. You see, the truth is, I had my headphones on and I was listening to music at the time. Headphones? You mean that both of your ears were covered? The rain was just beginning to let up, but it seemed as though Thor wasn't ready for his fun to come to an end just yet. Did the sky continue to flash and rumble? Thunder and lightning, huh? Sounds very frightening. Yes, I'm afraid of the sound of thunder, so I put my headphones on to block it out. Well, Your Honor, as you can see, there weren't any contradictions in her testimony after all. Wait a sec, Mia. That testimony just now. She said something that should totally change this whole case. There was lightning. She was listening to me. There was... why would lightning change anything? I mean, it could just be like the I don't know, I would say the lightning. I mean, I feel like it has to be the lightning, but I don't really know why it's important just yet. It was a problem unless it's like the lightning zapped the stuff and killed him. I don't know. What do you mean? Didn't you notice? She said there was lightning, correct? Yes, what about it? Very frightening. Well, lightning is actually a large discharge of electricity in the atmosphere, am I right? That's not the time for a science lesson, Miss Faye. Yes, Your Honor. Anyway, since the cause of death is electrocution, isn't it possible the victim died from being hit by a bolt of lightning? I must admit that the thought had not occurred to me. Isn't it, like, kind of obvious if you get struck by lightning? Just what kind of thoughts do occur to this guy anyway? This entire case is built on the premise that Mr. Doug Swallow was murdered. That very premise itself is mistaken. That offense believes that Mr. Swallow was in fact the victim of a stray bolt from Thor, the god of thunder himself. He was judged to be unworthy and smitten down in the Ivy League school park alley thing. I may have ran out of air at the end of that sentence and could not continue talking. It appears that offense may be onto something. Could it be that the death was actually accidental? Alright, you did it, Mia. I'll be taking that not guilty now if you don't. Well, that's bullshit, because we gotta kill someone, okay? So even if it was fucking Thor, he's up in the sky, so you know what? We're just gonna kill Phoenix instead. That's how the justice system works here. Somebody's gotta die. I don't make the rules, I just abide by them. I'm hearing that you have such a low opinion of me, Miss Faye. Huh? I'm not a fool, you know. The prosecution has done its research, Your Honor. We found that there were no lightning strikes on that day at the location. Ah! What's more, we have evidence the electrical cable is definitely linked to this case. Evidence, Mr. Prain? Well, what is this evidence? This affidavit. Who is this affidavit from? Thor, god of lightning himself. Pharmacology students who were conducting experiments in their labs that day. Let me read out the testimony of the pharmacology students. All the equipment in the labs lost power all of a sudden at around 3 p.m. that day. Was it a blackout? All the lab's equipment runs on high voltage, Your Honor. So you're saying the equipment lost power because... Precisely, they lost power because of the severed electrical cable. Power outage occurred at approximately 3 p.m. which fits with the time of death listed in the autopsy report. Exactly. In other words, the victim died as a result from touching the severed electrical cable. According to the students, the cables were very old. They were planning on having them replaced in the near future. Shouldn't the school be held liable for this? No? Okay. I see. Apparently the cables have become so brittle that even the smallest bump would have caused them to break. Okay, but like we know, so now the clock thing is going to be important after all. Because we know he died at 3:10 approximately. However, there is one thing that troubles me. If the cable could have been broken by any small bump, then it wouldn't have snapped if it had been bumped, if it hadn't been bumped into, correct? Well, I suppose you could say that. Miss Faye, do you have any thoughts regarding the cause of the severed cable? Your Honor. I don't like how this is looking on one bit. I have to come up with something to try and regain some momentum. If it pleases the court, the defense would like to state its opinion. Well then, let's hear it. Who or what was it that caused the cable to break? I mean, like, we know the lady killed him, but, like, I don't think I can just present her yet. That seems a little early. I mean, it just feels like, I mean, I don't know, I feel like I'm getting way ahead of myself if I just present the girl. I mean, like, there's the umbrella. Let's do umbrella first, and then present lady, and then I'm flying blind after that. This is it? This is why the cable snapped? Well, Your Honor, I believe the only thing that snapped, yeah, that's fine. That was one of your best lines yet, Your Honor. So, okay, let's hear it again. Who or what was it that caused the cable to break? Because, I mean, we know he didn't get zapped until after, because they said the clock stopped when he got zapped. That would definitely be like 3:10. Yeah, cold killer in his hand. This is it. This is why the cable snapped. Yeah. Okay. I don't really... I mean, do I present Doug? Do I present Phoenix? I feel like that's a bad idea. Your Honor, please think back to Mr. Wright's testimony. The defendant's testimony said that after he pushed the victim, he heard a loud, sharp noise. Now, this happened at around 3 p.m., correct? Yes, that sounds right. Wait, are you saying that the lab equipment lost power at 2:55 p.m., which fits right into Mr. Wright's timeline? In other words, it was Mr. Wright's shove that caused the power outage. Yeah, but like, I mean, like, yeah, but like, that's not good for us. Yes, the prosecution also came to that same conclusion. It was the very shove that caused Mr. Swallow to be electrocuted. I'm afraid I can't agree with you there, Mr. Payne. What's that supposed to mean? Take a good look at where the victim landed after being shoved. See the umbrella? It's by the electrical pole. That's right, the victim banged into that pole as a result of being pushed. What was that impact that caused the cable to break? I mean, at the same time, like, the cable's up in the air, dude. How he break the cable? So they're saying he got pushed into the pole, and the vibration from the pole being hit caused the cable to snap, I guess is what they're saying? Okay. But I mean, that's still, like, he would have been far enough away that it wouldn't have been hit him, so... Granted, we know he didn't get it zapped right then, but... That makes sense, and the victim was electrocuted! I'm sorry, Your Honor, but no, it doesn't make sense at all. And we'll learn why it doesn't make sense in the next video when we wrap up the tutorial trial. So far, off to a good start. You know, we kind of stumbled there a little bit on that question there, but I think I was getting, yeah, I knew I was getting ahead of myself a little bit, but yeah. I am Actor Cheesy 87. Stay tuned for the next part, and bye, guys.